Hey, this is Meloriota Lucy, and you're listening to the Rough Concept Podcast. Thank you, Yas, for joining me today. I'm super excited about talking to you because it's kind of like we're catching up anyway. And just talking about creativity with you has been so easy for me. Just simply, for example, whenever I was considering myself in a creative rut when I painted my wall. Mm-hmm. And you was like, hold on, like, no, that is not what this is. You just need a new medium, or you just want to create in a new way, but your creativity is still in flow. So whenever I thought about doing a Rough Concept podcast, I was like, Yas definitely is a perfect person to talk this through with, just because you've been a part of this journey with me creatively since we've been working together for a minute. And I just love to hear your thoughts and everything about it. So how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. And like you said, we've created so many things together. Mm-hmm. So it's only right that we talk creativity together.
Yeah, I agree. So I would love for you to introduce yourself, your work, your medium of creativity, and just give us an idea of your journey.
Yeah, so I'm Yasmine Cheyenne. I'm an author, a self-healing expert, an educator, and I help people create wellness routines that support them daily. But when it comes to my medium of creativity, okay, so had you asked me this question a few months ago, I would have been like, oh, it's writing. And that's like what I do. And I've really been exploring this year that, yes, I'm a writer, and writing has always been the thing that I've felt chose me. But I also create through my clothing. I create through my hair. I create through what I cook. I create through the people that I'm in conversation with. So I just feel like I'm creative. I feel like we're all creators, and that's where I'm at with that. Very, very woo-woo.
So, what's funny? I just interviewed someone recently. She's an artist, and she was born and raised in DC, and she moved to New York. And she was like, yeah, that's real woo-woo. And I was like, so that's what that means. I said, girl, I'm the one that you need to be woo-woo with. I'm the one to be woo-woo with. So, I love that you said that. So let's get into your creative process. If it is writing or dressing. I mean, this is actually kind of fun because you didn't, I guess, confine yourself to a particular way of creating. You pretty much laid it out. Like, I create in many ways for myself. So from writing to your hair to your clothing, what does that process look like for you?
Yes. And I just want to say the reason why I think I've chosen this way of defining creativity is like when you were talking about your wall. I would have these moments where I couldn't write because I feel like I had emptied that container for the moment. Like all of my writing creativity had been poured out. And so I was under the impression that, oh, that's all poured out. So now I can't create. When there was all of these other creative things that I was doing and that were still filling me creatively while my writing container filled back up. So for me, so my process of creativity is really asking myself how I feel in each day and what I can do to support the way I want to feel. So for example, today is a day where we are confined to being inside. The air quality is dangerous. We can't go out. I'm not feeling that. Like, we just really started being outside and now back inside. I'm not feeling that. So what can I do to support how I'm feeling? I'm going to put on clothes that make me feel supported. Specifically, I'm going to color block. Color blocking is a way that I creatively put things together that technically don't necessarily match, but I don't care. I'm going to print, mix. And because I'm writing my second book, that is going to support me showing up to that creative endeavor in a way
Mm.
where I don't feel as depleted as if I just rolled up to write this book the way that I really feel, which is in my t-shirt and old pants. And, I like, I
Yeah.
want to dress up for what I'm doing. I want to impress the muses, so to speak, that I'm asking to show up. And that's really important
Right.
to me, feeling like I'm a part of the process of creativity with everyone else that I want to show up. And if I was throwing a party, I wouldn't want people showing up looking raggedy. So, I'm trying to support that process of of creativity that I'm trying to create for myself, and through what
Mm.
I'm trying to bring to light.
Right. Right. And I love that you said that. I mean, because we create in so many different ways, it just doesn't limit you to the same medium every time.
Mm-hmm.
And that really just kind of, I think a lot of people need to hear that you can create in many different ways with your medium of like whatever you love to do, whatever, how you like to show up, how you like your space to look. Like that was a big deal for me,
Mm-hmm.
is to create an environment that, I can creatively thrive in.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that without even thinking about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And until you brought that up, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely right.
Yeah.
And if I want to add something really funky and cool to my space, like that's a form of creativity. The shoes I wear, my nails, my hair is pinking right now, but it's just your form of self-expression. And I love that you touched that. So,
Mm-hmm.
and during like throughout your creative process and however that looks in whatever medium you choose to share, like what is your favorite part of any creative process?
I think my favorite part is when I, I have two, sorry. My favorite part of creating is when something comes out of me that I know wasn't me. Like I create
Right.
something or I write a line or something happens and I'm like, oh, that definitely wasn't me because it just couldn't be. Like, this is good. That is like,
Yeah.
those magic moments are so exciting. The other part of that is when somebody reflects to me something in something that I created that I did not see. That's my other
Yeah.
favorite part of creating, where they read a chapter and they're like, I really saw this. I'm like, what? I did not see that. I feel like that's the magic of creativity too, that we can all see the same thing 25 million ways. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that, especially when people tell you what your form of art or creativity means to them. So
Mhm.
I love to hear that back from people who observe my work too. Um, and how do you feed your creativity? What does that look like?
Taking tons of time off and not overbooking myself. I'm so cautious about, like, I feel like there was a time where every week I was doing like 7, 8, 9 podcast interviews, plus projects, plus writing, plus this, plus that. And I wondered why, when it was time for me to sit down and create, I had nothing left. It was like, I have no energy, I have no
Right.
spaciousness. Lately, I've been really practicing what I preach and having lots of space for joy. And I find that when I sit down to be creative or when I sit down to write, because it's also my job,
Mhm.
got to pay the bills. Um,
Right.
I have something to look forward to later because I know that I have
Yeah.
something planned that doesn't require me to show up in any way other than how I want to. So I'm a better creative when I take off.
Oh, I feel that 100%. Like filling your cup pretty much with rest or whatever you enjoy doing. I feel that 100%.
Yeah.
So, is there anything new you want to try? Any new medium, any new way of creating, or, if it's makeup or, travels? I know you're really big with traveling and you've been to some amazing places this year,
No, when I was
living your best life. How would you like to start something new in creating?
yeah, travel has definitely been one of those things that I've been allowing, taking like photography, which is something I did in my teen years that I kind of dropped because it wasn't something that I was quote unquote perfect at. Now I'm picking those things back up. I've been playing tennis, which is a sport, and we may not traditionally think of it as something that is creative, but you're really thinking creatively while you're playing, how you can win a point, how you can show up, seeing how your body moves in different ways. So I've been playing around with what creativity looks like in motion, in action, not just me sitting down with pen to the paper or, at my computer, but what does it look like as I'm moving through life? And it's been really, really fun, which I feel like is the point of creativity in the first place. So
Oh, I freaking love that so much. And I have seen you play tennis recently. And yes, girl, you have been getting it. I was thinking of getting into jujitsu, and I was like, I probably should wait a little bit, but I've been having this urge to try new things. And recently I bought, it's a brand called Sculpted, and they send you a block of clay and different like tutorials to try different like forms and things like that. And I think that too, whenever I decided to move forward with it, would open up doors to, my work. It could, do a lot of things for me. It'll be very beneficial for me to try new things to pour into the work that I'm already doing as far as my art. So yeah, just opening yourself up to different mediums is really cool. And I think tennis is really cool that you tried it. The final question I have is, what would you tell your younger self, your younger creative, with everything that you've experienced and know now?
Oh, I love this question because I've been really exploring my younger creative self. So my younger creative self had none of the limitations that I have today. I played the saxophone, I played the piano all the way till junior high school. I was, in photography, I was dancing. So I would tell her to keep going. And I would also tell her that just because you're not going to go to Juilliard, right? It doesn't mean that you have to stop. Like,
Right.
we can have hobbies. Like with tennis, for example, I'm never going to be in the open, right? That's not going to happen. I'm not going to be on the tour. Why do we have to stop doing things just because they don't pay the bills? Like,
Right.
I want to do, and I think the reason I've been choosing different creative outlets is so that nothing leads to writing. I need to have things that don't correlate to what I do for a living. That my living is not just making a living. I'm also enjoying what's around me.
Right.
I would definitely tell her to keep doing all of the things that bring you joy, because today I'm rediscovering them and I'm happy to be doing that, but I never had to let them go in the first place. So.
Oh, that's awesome. And it's so funny how because I feel the same way. I'm tapping back into my younger creative self. And I felt like going into adulthood, I was like, oh, these are the things that I need to do as an adult, put away childish things and all that, right? And what I realized is I really want to tap back into my younger creative self because I had no limitations, like you said. So that's like beautiful. But I just want to say thank you again for being a part of this journey and sharing your creative journey with me and my listeners.
Oh my gosh, of course. I'm excited for you.
All right, yes. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye.
Bye. Learn more about Yasmine Cheyenne at www.yasminecheyenne.com. You can catch her on all social platforms with @Yasmine Cheyenne, and check out her amazing book, The Sugar Jar, as well as her podcast, The Sugar Jar Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that today's discussion sparked your creativity and inspired you to embrace your unique journey. Don't forget to share your thoughts, stories, and creations with me. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Leave a review, and let's continue to support and inspire one another on this incredible journey. Until next time, keep creating.